Welcome to She Loves the Grid, where we discuss all things F1. And here we go. She Loves the Grid, in between races, getting ready for Japan. How are you, Diane?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. All right, well, let's get going. How was your week? It's just these weeks in between are just so.
Yeah. But yeah. It's just waiting for the next one. I don't know. I mean, although it was kind of nice because the last race was very late at night and Japan is going to be at midnight, so I will not be staying up to watch quali or the race. So, yeah. Other than that, just work, busy. What about you?
It's been a crazy week. It was a 4-day weekend here in Berlin. We're recording on Monday, odd for us. And I've lost track of my days and hours and everything. And then, as you know, I'm coming to the States in a week. So, and then a few weeks later, I'm coming to see you.
Yay!
I'm not going to jinx why until that all is official. But anyway.
Yes.
Anyway, let's get going. It's going to be a short episode probably, but
Yeah. I think it should be pretty short. These in between ones generally are, but yeah, let's talk about it. So I think the main thing that I took away from this past week in Formula One is rumors. It's just rumors everywhere. So
I don't recall previous years. I know I haven't been that following it as closely, but I don't even remember last year being so full of rumors like this. It's been been kind of crazy.
I agree. I think last year really the biggest rumors were Nick DeVries. There was all that stuff going on. Like maybe by the third race, I don't know. People were kind of all over that. Nothing that stood out. And I wonder next year if it'll be the same. We'll be like, what happened last year? This year's so crazy. And I think because we have half the grid that is out of contract at the end of this year, I think that we're just going to extend silly season and the rumors are going to be flying. So I think one of the first rumors that started going around early last week was Danny Rick, that he was being given an ultimatum a la Nick DeVries last year if he didn't improve over the next two races. That is what we were hearing last year, right? Like Nick DeVries is getting talked to. Nick DeVries has until I think it was the Spanish Grand Prix, and he made it through that. He did make it through that, yeah, because I think Danny raced in Italy. I don't know. I don't remember. But anyways, that was the rumors last year that was going around, was that he was an ultimatum. And last week I did ask, is Daniel going to get the same kind of treatment? So all of these rumors were coming out and he had two races. And if he didn't improve, Liam Lawson was going to replace him. So the next day or 2 days later, Planet F1 came out and said that the rumors are false. And then I started to think, like, would V-Carb really kick Danny to the curb mid-season? Like, he's Daniel Ricciardo. He has that personality. People are so happy to see him come back. You know, he's kind of synonymous with Formula One. Would they really kick him out mid-season? Would they do it when they have their sister team has so much bad press right now? And like kicking Daniel off a team is like kicking a puppy. I don't know.
That's a great analogy because that would be what it's like.
I know. And when you're already having bad press, do you want to add that?
He's such good press for F1. I mean, it's F1 as a whole, not just Red Bull, just F1 as a whole. I mean, there's so many old videos that have just been circulating lately with just funny stuff of Danny Rick, right? And it'd be tough. But if he doesn't perform, I mean, it'd be called a lot of speculation. And if they continue, if we see more, I should say continue. We've only seen it really, I think, once strongly. If we see more team orders in his favor when he's not performing and Yuki is, that's something I really want to watch for because Yuki's really outperforming him. And I just don't want to see Yuki getting shafted because of Danny's name or Danny's, fandom or whatnot when Yuki is proving to be the better driver.
Absolutely. And that is the other thing that started going around after these rumors is the difference that Yuki was beating Nick DeVries last year. He's actually beating Daniel so far this year by a larger margin. So you cannot ask Yuki to step aside at all. You at this point you just can't. I mean, maybe if it's a race and Daniel, his speed is faster, he can, then okay, I can see that, but not a ticky tack like they did in that one race. No.
Yeah, I agree.
So there's that. The other big rumor that is going around is that Papa Stroll made what is being called an astronomical bid to get Adrian Newey over to Aston Martin.
That I believe.
I fully believe that. We know Papa Stroll's got the money to make this happen. And I feel like maybe we have said this before, but absolutely he can throw money at him. He has put so much money into that new facility they moved into last year, their wind tunnel. I don't think it's quite ready yet, but it's, they've been working on it. You add Adrian Newey to the mix. Supposedly it's like, I've heard blank check. I've heard it's as much as some of the top drivers on the grid make. Like it is, here you go. Which also Ferrari has also been rumored to be in advanced talks with Adrian Newey. So that's another one.
I know that's one of those things. It's like, where would you go? I mean, if I was given a blank check or like what Max makes, it'd be kind of hard to be like, no, I'm loyal here. I mean, loyalty is one thing. I get it, but that's a lot of money to be like, okay, I could do this for another minute and then be done. Just be done forever,
It's craziness. And it also makes me wonder, like, we know he signed a new contract last year with Red Bull, but how long was it? Is it 1 year? Because I haven't seen like when this would start. So was it a 1 year contract? Is it for the 2026 car? Which, yes, regulations are changing. You want somebody like Adrian Newey's mind putting together your car for 2026. Like that is major. So I don't know, but again, if anybody has the money to do it, Papa Stroll, he does.
Absolutely.
This is why he's the Papa. Okay, another rumor, Sauber / Audi is targeting both Nico Hülkenberg and Carlos for 2025. I don't know about this. So Bottas and Joe both are out of contract at the end of this year. They're just last year. I feel like we kind of forgot about them. Drive to Survive never showed them. This year, I think they could have been in the points a couple times, but their horrible pit stops are not helping the drivers at all.
No.
But I don't know. And I don't know as a Carlos fan if I would want to see him go to Sauber / Audi next year.
Yeah, I don't think that's a strong enough car for him. They would be lucky to have him. I mean, he would be their primary. He would be their best. Nico, I could see that. But like with Bottas, he to me is a Danny when it comes to media.
Yeah.
He's the other side. Like he has so much flair and so much fun. He brings another set of people and following. I think it's going to be hard to lose Bottas unless he just keeps having like horrible seasons. Because again, if you look at Liberty Media, they're treating F1 not just as a sporting event. It's an entertainment company. That's why we had Las Vegas. Yeah, that Forbes article I sent you. That's like, it's all about the entertainment package. And Bottas brings the entertainment value big time.
But only since he left Mercedes. He was not like this really out there as much. And maybe that's the Mercedes brand, like with Ferrari, their drivers don't really have their own merch and that kind of stuff. They always show up wearing Ferrari gear. I kind of feel like it might be the same at Mercedes. Like he didn't have really, I don't think he had the mullet. Now he's been able to like probably be who he's always been. So I agree with you. He is a big personality in the sport. And I think people over the last couple of years really have loved that. But yeah, that would be weird to have a grid without Bottas. As long as I've been in the sport, he's always been there. So the last rumor that I heard was that Sergio has renewed his contract with Red Bull for 2025. So this was brought about by journalist Peter Windsor. He heard it from very, pretty reliable F1 sources. which is kind of interesting because ever since Carlos won the Australian Grand Prix, they've been hinting at him going to Red Bull. So I mean, who knows what's true? Nothing has been officially announced, but I mean, at this point, I still don't think you can totally throw Sergio out the door. Like, he's had a decent year so far. And they said in Australia, I think they gathered some sort of garbage or something that caused an issue with the floor. So the downforce and everything in Australia, and that's why he was not as fast as he could have been. I think it was a tearaway because I remember thinking Ocon had the tearaway. He could have also probably been in the points if it wasn't for that long pit stop to get that out. And then Sergio kind of the same. So there you have it. That's the that's the rumors this week. It's all about the rumors. I also kind of wanted to share really quickly a Vegas recap. So we had talked a lot last year before the race about the local people were not happy with what was happening with setting up the stands. I think it was at least a month. There are still, even today, I watched a video this morning of a restaurant owner who said he lost $3 million during that time frame from previous year because you just couldn't get around. People said that lived there said it extended their commute, like doubled their commute time, the whole 9 yards. But here's what here's the report that they led with. So on November 19th, the airport, Harry Reid International Airport, became the U.S. second busiest, handling a historic Boeing 747 among its operations. Hang on. The payoff, an astounding $1.5 billion in economic impact and a record-breaking $77 million in tax revenues for state and local governments, was sourced to F1. And then they also talked about nearly 2,200 jobs supported by the infrastructure development and another 5,100 by event organizers. So, I mean, I don't know if they've issued a report for what the economic impact having the Super Bowl there was, but they are saying just from that short time with the race, it was 1.5 billion with 77 million in tax revenue. Now, the question is, will the residents there see improvement? I don't know, in the areas that they want to see improvement from those tax dollars. I don't know. But I just thought that was very interesting. And I know tickets have been released. I think I've heard that general admission is definitely over 1,000. With, I don't know if it's like special general admission I saw for 1,900. So, and the ticket prices go up from there. It's crazy when you think about how much the tickets are to sit across from a pit on the start finish line in Europe. Is not that.
No. And the thing that gets me, though, what's missing in that report, because you talked about the one restaurant owner said how much he lost. Where's the analysis of what was lost?
Right.
Overall, there was a boom for the government, so it's going to be a big thing. Overall, there's a boom in other areas, but where do you balance it out? Where's the factor?
Right.
Let's say profit and loss statement. Where's the loss and the people who lost, and how were they impacted, and how are they compensated for how their businesses took a nosedive? It'd be interesting to do an analysis of all those businesses that took a negative economic impact.
I agree. And I don't know that they will ever do that because it's not going to support their, what they're trying to put out there. What we're looking at is maybe like, let's lengthen it instead of just like a 4-day Grand Prix to a week. So maybe people came for a week. Well, like the restaurant owner that I watched this morning, it was a month on the front end. And I think it was at least a week or two on the back end. So you're looking at, okay, for a week, there was this impact, but for a month, maybe 6 weeks, this particular business owner lost $3 million because it was impossible for people to get to his restaurant. So I think you make a very, very good point, but I don't know that we'll ever see that.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. Red Bull drama continues.
Oh my gosh.
So I know.
I was thinking about that when we were talking. You were saying earlier about being silly season and half the grid. I think that's what makes that's what makes this year's crazy with the rumors and whatnot. Is we not only have the silly season, we have half the grid up, up all over the place, and all the kind of drama around that. But then you have all this off grid, tangential to what's going on.
Yeah.
Rumors and speculation and ickiness, not just with Red Bull, you have with FIA and all that. So it's just, and then the lawsuits from years before, like all of it's coming to a head this year. And it's, I think, just adding to the chaos.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. And the stuff that's off the track is very serious stuff. Like it's not just a little like, oh, okay. No, every single bit of it is very serious. So at Red Bull, the woman who filed the complaint against Christian Horner is asking to have her job back. It's been reported, so alleged that she has been suspended with pay. We know she had asked or has hired a new lawyer and is asking for an appeal. From what I have read, she's not heard anything from the FIA, and I'm not sure where her appeal stands, but she is wanting her job back. So, and if those alleged text messages were accurate and they were really between those two, she said in those text messages, she really loves her job and she wants to do her job. So she wants her job back. It's also really hard to get a job in F1. And so if that's where your passion lies, and I think you've said before, Claire, that, it can taint her reputation from getting a job somewhere else. So the other thing that F1insider.com is reporting is that Christian has the full support of the majority tie owner. So they have 51%. And he's been given the sole authority to make critical decisions for both Red Bull and Racing Bulls. Yes. So he has really even more power, it sounds like, than before this whole situation. And apparently the Austrian owners, they were the people that started Red Bull back in the day, but now they're only 49% owners, are considering leaving F1 altogether and concentrating on some of their other endeavors. We know that they race at the Red Bull Ring, but maybe after that contract is up, that will no longer be a race course. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that one.
Yeah. So that's major. And that's coming from F1insider.com. That's a major thing to think that somebody could go through what he's been through and come out with even more power is a little, yeah. So there you go. And on top of all of that, at Red Bull, after 18 years, Max's chief mechanic is leaving his role to move to another team. So he went on social media, the mechanic, and said, loved being at Red Bull, all the stuff that we did, blah, blah, blah. And what he had said is he starts his new job on Monday. So this was last week. So starting this week on Monday, he was starting. And he said at the other end of the pit lane. So then it was like, who is it? Haas, whatever. But he did end his, I guess the text on the caption on his video was a green heart and a black heart. So it's been said that it is Stake, that he went to the Stake F1 team and will be taking over there. So maybe he can solve that wheel nut issue that's causing the 40-second pit stops. I don't know. That would be task number one. If I'm your boss, task number one on Monday is go figure this out before this weekend, please. Thank you.
Right? Because they need some serious help.
They need serious help. So yeah, I think in the job interview, I would have asked that question. How would you go about solving this? And there's your task number one, because we cannot have another race like that. So he's got his work cut out for him this week. Very quickly, driver stats. So Lando Norris, with his third place podium last week, now has the most podiums without a win at 14. So he had been tied with Nick Heidfeld, I think it is. But now he's the sole owner of that record, 14 podiums without a win. But I feel like this is his year. This year, it could happen. That's my thought. And Carlos has 1,000 points. So there's our little Carlando stat right for you. Carlando, I love them. He has 1,000 points in his F1 career. All right, let's move on about the teams. Mercedes, Toto is still talking about signing Max. I'm kind of over it at this point. I think it's weird. I think it's weird.
He could, he can dream.
He can dream, but like if I'm Max, I'd be like, okay, stop. I'm not coming to you now because you're annoying me. Because
Right?
you're
Exactly.
absolutely annoying me, talking about me like, I don't even remember what it was that made me think about it.
I don't know how much, unless it's in the news, I don't know how much Max even recognizes it, because I was watching some, memes and videos earlier, and, I come across a couple of videos from saying over and over how he just doesn't like social media.
Oh, that's true.
How much does he even see? Because, like, he doesn't seem like the type that's on social media or gives a crap about it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm sure he's hearing about it someplace, but maybe Max doesn't care.
He's just over it all.
Yeah.
He has better things to deal with.
Yeah, like his gaming. Okay. His streaming. Okay, so James Vowles came out and said that they got the car back to England. It arrived in the middle of the night. Alex's car, if you are not aware, he crashed it before Australia. It was a whole thing. Anyways, they got it back to England. It came in at 2 a.m. and the overnight guys started working on it right away. He said they had taken photos, they had data, so they sent all of that ahead so that the crew knew what they needed to start on. They already kind of had a plan in action. So he did say they will have 2 cars in Suzuka. I'm going to say there's still no third chassis. So let's hope that we don't have another issue like that coming up. I mean, I don't know.
Alex, I love Alex, but if he crashes again, don't take Logan's car. I mean, I know Logan. I mean, it's just what a hard strategy. Alex, gets more points, but didn't pay off.
No,
didn't pay off.
But I still don't think Logan would have been near the points. I mean, Alex was 12th. It did not pay off point wise, but I still feel like it was the better move. I mean, it sucks. It's like a no-win situation. You know what I mean? It's a no-win situation. I don't envy James having to make that decision at all. That was, not good. But anyways, they'll have 2 cars, not 3. So let's hope for the best. In Japan. V-Carb is introducing a new floor this week. So they're hoping that kind of takes them a step away from the car last year. And then they're going to have another upgrade in Imola. But hopefully the floor will bring some speed, because we kind of anticipated that the rumors were they were taking the RB19. And I kind of thought they might be towards the top of the heap, and they are not. They are not at all. So we'll see what happens with the new floor. Also, I think this is kind of fun. So I hope I don't say this wrong. Iwasa. He's a Red Bull Junior. He's going to be driving V-Carb in FP1. So he's going to be sitting in for Daniel Ricciardo. And so he's a Japanese driver. So it's his home race. That's got to be amazing. First time, I think, in an F1 car for him, driving on your home circuit. It's Yuki's home race. Love it. My little global treasure. He's going to be just soaking it all up. So that should be kind of fun. I hope he does well. I hope he really does well this week. And speaking of doing well, Gunther Steiner is doing awesome. So not only did he interview the top 3 and completely confuse Charles Leclerc during his
it's so funny. There's so many memes about like him. Like, could he not understand him? What's going on? Like,
no idea. Just do like it was just spinning here. But the Miami GP has just named him as an ambassador. I love it. I think that's so smart. People love Gunther. We want to see him at the track. Yes, bring him to Miami. I love it.
It's just so funny not hearing Gunther drop F-bombs.
You should say like the folking.
Yeah.
FOKIN. Folking Miami Grand Prix. There you go.
Oh my God.
So I can't wait to see it, because that means we'll get a lot of Gunther content. I love it. All right, let's very quickly, we'll wrap it up with the Japanese Grand Prix is this week. It's way earlier in the season. Last year, I think it was in the fall. So it's a very different time of year than what we're used to. So I think data wise, that should be kind of interesting. I don't know what the weather's like there compared to when they usually race, but I feel like that's going to play a little bit into it. It's definitely an old school track. It seems like everybody loves it. The fans are awesome. I love seeing the content coming out of Suzuka because they're always their hats, they've got matching shirts, like they go all out. They absolutely love it. The drivers also seem to be doing a lot of fun stuff. So what I think is interesting too with this move is we've gone from Australia, which is very much like a party track, and the drivers go and they have so much fun, to another really fun track with fun fans. And the drivers again are out doing stuff. So I think that's kind of fun. Usually we don't seem to do that. Anyways, 53 laps, 5.807 kilometers. There's one DRS zone. This is the only track that has the figure 8. So it crosses over each other, which is really kind of fun. We'll have a post about that this week. So I kind of love that. There's 18 corners, 10 go to the left, 10 go to the right. What else? It's wait.
You said 18 quarters and you said 10 and 10.
No, 10 and 8.
10 and 8. Okay. I swear I heard 10 and 10.
Oh, maybe I did. I meant 10 and 8. It's a high speed, but it's got like these snaking S curves. So there's high speed corners, then there's low. And so I don't know. It's really kind of fun.
I love that. Was it turn 11? Yeah, turn 11. I think is such a cool turn.
Yeah, that is totally awesome. Like, I think it's really fun. So the power units really have to work hard. So they're like revved up 65% of the lap. So I also think it could be interesting because this is only our 4th race. I mean, have we tested the power units the way they might need to be tested?
We already have 1 or 2 drivers that are already at their max number of power units for the year. So
there you go. And usually by Suzuka, they've had time to like perfect the power unit. I don't know, like really test them out. And this is the 4th race. And when you think about like the first 3 races, I think the tracks are all pretty different about what your car needs to do. And now you come here and it's a little bit of both. Like you've got high speed, you've got, hairpin turns that are much slower. I don't know. I think it's kind of crazy. So that long straight there between 18 and 1 is crazy. The drivers go full throttle for about 15 seconds. So their power, the traction, so the tires are all super key factors on that area, which will be really, really cool to watch. I can't wait. For me, I'll watch it the next day. What's that?
That would be a neat place to sit.
Yeah. That would be really fun. Man, talk about seeing them go through really quick. That's awesome. I love it. And like we said, it's Yuki's home race, so Japan, but it's also the home race for Haas's new principal, Komatsu.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, so that's kind of fun. So it's not just Yuki, it's him as well. And he was with the team last year and they did a lot of great things around that. But I think that's fun. And then to have the Red Bull Junior, who's also a Japanese citizen, also there for his home race is exciting.
All the good positive vibes for Yuki.
Yes. All the positive vibes for that little global treasure. He's going to show out again. He's going to be so excited to be in front of his home crowd. So, yeah, I don't know. We will see what happens. We could be back to Red Bull 1-2. I don't know. But anything could happen. We learned that in Australia.
Anything.
And there's, again, this is early on. So we've still got Mercedes is trying to figure out their car. Like,
I can't imagine we'll have another right rear tire fire in Max's car. That was a crazy video, but I just.
That was insane. Yeah. I mean, who knows? Who knows? But we'll be excited to watch it. We will talk about it. I will not be watching it live, so I will be avoiding social media when I get up early. I cannot
send a recording because I'm off on a flight early the next morning.
That's right. Oh my gosh. That's right. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. So much to do. But all right. So that was it. That's your quick recap and prep for Suzuka. And yeah, can't wait for this weekend.
It's going to be a fun one. All right. Thanks for along for this short little ride. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe and leave a rating and a review. To stay up to date with She Loves the Grid and get all the behind the scenes content, you can follow us on Instagram at She Loves the Grid and on Facebook at facebook.com/She Loves the Grid. Thank you for joining us for the ride this week.